Hi, my name is Sam Price, the Crypto Lifer, and every single Friday afternoon, I give you the macro, top-down technical analysis. We give you all of the assets that really make up the world economy. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. We're going to talk about the total market cap of all of crypto, Total 3, which is the total market cap of crypto excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, Bitcoin dominance, Tether dominance, the DXY, which is the US dollar. We're going to look at the S&P futures, the NASDAQ futures. We're also going to be looking at Sol BTC, Casper BTC, and even the Japanese yen versus the USD2 as well, which had a big spike today. Seems like there's a lot going on. The Japanese yen had a huge spike to the upside. Their stock market took a bit of a crash today, biggest fall since 1987, Black Monday. Things are happening. Let's dive in and see what's going on in the macro analysis. When we first look at Bitcoin, we told you last week that things didn't look amazing for BTC. Looked like a head and shoulder pattern, right? Today is now, the second, and from the 31st, so that's 2-3 days. So we were here about, let's take a look at the exact day I was live again, but it's the second here. So we were on the 26th of July right there. So on the 26th of July, we were attempting to see if we were going to make a right shoulder. Things didn't look too good. Bitcoin had made a bounce, but it had a resistance at 68,250. To me, it was away from the 21-day moving average. If you know me, likely we were saying, hey, there's a pullback back to the 21-day moving average. Look for price action to come back to this white line. That's exactly what happened. So if you watched my weekly macro analysis, we did discuss how price action was likely too far from the 21 and was likely going to come back to it. Now it's headed down to the 200 SMA after a major dump here, 63,170 Bitcoin, basically getting a bit of a fall right now. If I give you a book map just to be nice, you can see there's more liquidity to the downside. It says even tonight we go back to 61,000, and then it even can bleed back into $58,000. So on the macro analysis right now, Bitcoin does not look strong. It has a low, a high, a lower low, a lower high, and it looks like it could put in another lower low and create a downtrend, right? So right now, Bitcoin's in a downtrend. If it loses the daily 200 SMA, look for it to bounce all the way back down to this double bottom at 55.9, or even go lower to 53,400 where this bottom trend line, hits. Your saving grace, like your one, maybe, could save us here. And if you're watching all week, I talked about this being a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder that would drop the head to the neckline. And that's exactly where we went. That's exactly where we are right now. The head and shoulder did break to the downside. So that's another easy, you could just see the head and shoulder and it played out. The last thing on my radar is possibly could be making this, symmetrical triangle. And these are mainly more bearish than bullish anyway. The last I've seen, the last year, mainly these are breaking down. But if it goes sideways and then maybe it could break to the downside, could we make a shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder here to save us? So, there's a chance 62,800 can hold. But that's going to be our last level that I'm watching. Once we lose 62.8, we're testing the daily 200 SMA, and we're likely coming further down to 55,000. So it's more likely we go down than up. In the next 2 or 3 days, if you don't get a bounce here and start to consolidate, it's just very likely you're moving to the downside. So the odds in my mind are that we're moving to the downside. The 8-hour 200 MA is below the 200. Bearish. This is a bit of an M pattern. This is a broadening rising wedge that broke to the downside. It's just, bearish. I got to tell you, you're below a point of control and the 200 MA on the 8-hour time frame. Doesn't look amazing. And your 4-hour looks like it's going to roll over, kind of double topping here. And once the 4-hour loses the 200 MA, bang. So if the 4-hour closes the candle below the 200, I'll be opening up a nice short all the way right back down to about $55,000. So I'm more short. I'm more bearish than bullish for Bitcoin. I'm not a perma bull. I'm not a perma bear, but I'm definitely more bearish than bullish right now, because that's what the indicators are telling me. You can draw this line, and if for any reason we breach, fine, then the falling wedge can get back to the top of the channel. So you're looking for that break. You're looking for the 4-hour to keep the 200 MA, but it's looking very sketchy. We're going to test it one more time, and this may be the one time that we break it. So I am, cautioning you that I see bearishness for Bitcoin on the horizon. Same thing here for the total market cap and all of cryptocurrency. Bit of a shoulder, a head, and almost a right shoulder. Does that mean we dump all the way back down to 143? I don't know. But you can see the daily here is further ahead than Bitcoin. It's actually at its 200 MA because the altcoins got sold off worse than BTC. And so we saw it, the last time we saw it was a symmetrical triangle that could go either way. And the symmetrical triangle did break to the downside, and they mainly do. They mainly do break down. Even though they are 50-50 patterns, I've seen them mainly break to the downside. Rejection, shoulder, head, right shoulder there too as well. You can clearly see that was a head and shoulder pattern. If you need to go to the 12-hour to make it look a little more apparent. But to me, it was a head and shoulder pattern, and it did break down. If this daily candle closes below the 200 MA, I do not see how we don't go further down for these altcoins. It looks like the altcoins are in for a major sell-off down to 1.9. Our last chance is that they hold, the total market cap holds 2.14, but it's showing they're going to sell Bitcoin and the altcoins off. This could be a drop further down to 1.89. We look at the total market cap of all of the altcoins, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is total 3. And we're just going to go really back out to the weekly here. And it says, hey, the weekly is low, right? It did bounce. You're not buying the highest weekly. You're not going after the highest prices. But when we make this flag that we're seeing, it does say, hey, maybe we come back down to the bottom of the flag at least one more time before a bigger pump. So when I look at this closely, it suggests, hey, previous support is resistance, $500 billion. So 492, 500 billion. So it suggests that we are going to make a drop here to the downside. We already lost this previous support as resistance. Your next real level on the weekly is $541 billion. So I see bearishness for the altcoins too as well. Rolling over here on the daily time frame, and the daily is below the 200. Once you lose the 200 SMA on a daily time frame, that's bearish. And usually once you lose the daily 200, you'll go to the 200 on the 2-day. So the next stop for the altcoins looks to me like a nasty drop. I'd be careful. It looks like the altcoins are going to get another drop further to the downside, and it doesn't look good. So I do see more downside coming for the altcoins. I wish it was different, but this says, hey, I'd be looking for a bounce off 500 billion. If we lose that, you do not want to lose the 2-day 200 SMA. That could be our last chance to load up, but we'll take it. But right now, I do see downside for the altcoins. That's just what I see happening. It could change and I know nothing but the fact of my own ignorance, but that is highly likely. Bitcoin dominance. When that starts to rip, there's two reasons it rips. And remember, we go over this all the time. It pumps hard when people run out of altcoins to get into Bitcoin. And when they run out of, and then they run into Bitcoin. And then when they sell Bitcoin off a little bit too. So in Bitcoin sell-offs, dominance can rise because it's people leaving altcoins to get in. Now, right now, it looks like dominance is about to pump really hard. We're going to juxtapose Tether dominance. If Tether dominance looks like it's about to pump too, that's usually a bad sign for the market, for basically all of cryptocurrency. So right now, we have a green candle on Tether dominance, right? But we are getting a little overbought. That could be our saving grace here. So we're going to watch this the next 2-3 days. We'd love to see a resistance here. Come on down and let Tether dominance start to drop a little bit. Bitcoin dominance continues to pump. And honestly, I bought more Bitcoin today. The whole world probably is too, even with these dips. And this says that Bitcoin dominance is going to go parabolic at one point, regardless. At the same time, let me look at my 3-day chart. Bitcoin dominance wants to drop. Let's look at the 3-day chart. Tether dominance wants to pump. So it is looking like this. Look, we may get a nasty sell-off. Tether dominance rises to the 200, and Bitcoin dominance drops down to the 200 on the 3-day chart. You can see we're oversold on the stochastics. So I'd be careful. It's looking to me like there may be a major sell-off in the market. It's giving me signs. There's a higher low, low, high, higher low. Stochastics are pushing up. It is the 3-day chart. Anything can happen, but this is showing signs that in the next 2 to 3 weeks, we may get a sell-off, one more bigger pullback for Bitcoin. That's just what I'm seeing by juxtaposing the Bitcoin dominance and the Tether dominance. I hope I'm wrong, but this is what the charts are telling us. Then we go to the DXY, and the DXY taking a beatdown today, which is strange. Bitcoin dumping and the DXY dumping. But to me, it says maybe BRICS is taking more control. More foreign currencies are stepping it up. And also it shows that the whole world is taking a bit of a falling. People ran out of the dollar to jump into the Japanese yen because people sold off the dollar because the Japanese stock market started to collapse. When that started, you got to sell off where, right? And they sold off into Japanese yen, putting the yen up. The yen boosted up against the dollar. Look, I'll show you this. Look, the Japanese yen had a huge pump against the dollar in the last few days. Again, I tell you this, whenever you break above a 200 MA. So now when the Japanese yen was coming to the 200, it was foreshadowing that we were going to see a collapse in the Japanese stock market. Because why would the Japanese yen go up so hard? See, it's interesting. So show me the charts and I'll show you the news. The charts were already telling you that we were going to see some type of rock, some type of, things getting rocked around in the Japanese market. So this is a head and shoulder pattern. I see the DXY continuing to the downside. The dailies, hopefully Bitcoin can get it, some grounding, and we can get a move back to the upside. But right now, it looks like everything wants to take a bit of a dump to the downside right now. So I am more bearish on the DXY than Bitcoin, but it looks like they're going to have a little bit of a move together for a little bit. And that takes us to the S&P, right? We talked about the S&P. We got the pump. We were looking at it on the 3-day chart. And I told you, when something pumps this hard, it has to come back at least to the 3-day or to some type of Fibonacci level. I drew this and this, and you can see we do have some support here. But where's our daily 200 MA? You want to see where the daily, yeah, it looks like we're going to come back to the daily 200 and test it. We've been testing it on this rally the whole time. I wouldn't be surprised if we test it again. If we lose that, fine, a bigger pullback, and maybe we're in for a black swan, and it could happen. But right now, I do see at least a week more of a pullback, unless we can bounce off this resistance here. But to me, it's more likely we drop to the 200 MA on the daily time frame. I'd love it if we bounce and we consolidate, but I see more downside for the S&P. I see more downside for the NASDAQ. Same thing. They're both in the same scenario here, but I see them at least coming to test their daily 200 MAs. We do not want to see them lose them. If we get 2 to 3 candles close below those, it tells us that we're getting a massive drop down and things are changing. So we can't lose the 200 SMA on the daily. We want to use that as a bounce area on the NASDAQ and the S&P. We're going to be watching that closely for you all the way up until next Friday for the next week. Really, that's very important. Sol BTC had a nice run up against Bitcoin, but even that ran back. Almost every coin in the world pulled back. Liquidity was just taken out of the world market. A lot of people just, whoa, right? And then you can't go to the dollar. So where do they go? They went to the Japanese yen. It's funny. It's like they saw what was dropping and they get into things that aren't dropping, right? And so somehow the world piled into the Japanese yen today, which is pretty crazy. But that can only go bad. That looks like that will crash eventually too. And where are they going to run then, right? Caspa BTC is the strongest coin right now against Bitcoin, really. Had a huge run up, barely pulling back. If anything holds its gains, it's going to be Caspa Bitcoin. So, and everyone, that's Bitcoin. Total 3, Bitcoin dominance, Tether dominance, the DXY, Japanese yen, S&P future, NASDAQ futures, Sol BTC, Caspa BTC. You won't get it anywhere else. Everyone, thank you so much for this weekly top-down analysis. It looks like we're in for a rocky August. The next 2 weeks do not look good. And then September isn't a great month either. So I don't know. The next 2 months look like we're in for some type of battle here, but we'll take it one step, one level, one candle at a time. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Sam Price, the Crypto Lifer. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. You can find out when I post my next video. Remember, if you came to the channel, then you're already doing the right thing. Crypto is life.